ladies and gentlemen, welcome to it. The legendary Nerd-O Roundtable is here, and yeah, you know it. It is Loki Wednesday.
Woohoo! Yay!
What is up, my good people?
Hey,
Man,
people.
Marvel came with it. Let's just say that.
Yes. Okay, jump right in, Bo. Hell.
I mean,
Look,
No highs.
look.
look.
All right, look.
No
It's about to get super hot, and it's very, very super interesting tonight because we have a special guest. I see the co-host from Sibling Nerdery in the building.
Hello.
This is it Tony Cunningham?
That is correct. That's me. How's everybody today?
Hey, Tom.
All is well,
Love
sister.
her lady.
Welcome to the round table.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
And if you don't recognize the last name, that is the sister of the one and only Thomas Talking Cunningham. What's up with your brother?
I think
What's
it's
up,
nerding.
man?
I think it's
No,
nerding.
it is today. It's Nerdingham.
Nerdingham it is. There it is.
That's okay.
Dr. Liz from the Freeway.
Hello, everyone.
Ryan Twitch Master McBain.
Yay! What's crack-a-lackin'?
I love it with the Loki green and super clean.
I think that's
Kelly, what it
alligator
is,
green.
bruh?
We will not have it.
Look, with this here episode, I have to say that every single thing I expected from this series came true. This series ended on a note that tied in not just the MCU, it touched on religious context, it touched on the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and everything. And when I say everything that I predicted would happen was happening. All the things that I alluded to were true. Shit was mind-blowing. And I know that, of course, as always, Ryan has 5011 questions.
Always.
Tom Cunningham has the answers. And so, Ryan, what is your first confusing question?
Okay, I have. I only have one question actually.
What?
After I got done watching the episode, I was like, "What the hell did I just watch?" I had to go back and watch it again. It was very confusing to me, and also I was annoyed for two reasons. One, no alligator Loki. What the hell, man? And two,
No alligator.
Marvel wants me to like wait until Hawkeye. All this crazy shit's going on, and then okay, now Hawkeye is coming, and it's all back to normal. Nothing's going on. It's all calm, cool, and collected. But no, man, you got me. You got my mouth watering. You can't take me from what I just saw in the season finale of Loki, and then go into Hawkeye.
But that's what What If is for.
Yeah,
What If is before Hawkeye.
Yeah, but it's not live action. I don't really count that.
Neither is the Bad Batch, but you on there like a Star Wars fiend. Stop it.
Okay, first
And
of
not
all,
only
you
that-
had no right to mention Star Wars because you like The Last Jedi.
Okay.
Stop
No.
it.
Look,
All right, no, just no.
So anyway,
the-
what you're
Tom
saying
said.
is
What? Yeah.
Bad
I think Tom said that the Last Jedi did what it's supposed to do.
Yeah, piss me off.
It was to
Exactly.
bridge.
I don't know if it was supposed to.
It did
piss
what
you
it's
off.
supposed
All
to
I'm
do.
saying is you are crediting Bad Batch with being a better film than any of the live action sequels. So you might as well just accept it.
No. I said Bad Batch is better than The Last Jedi. That's for damn sure.
He's correct.
My one
correct.
question is this, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know that the Kang variant gets killed. Okay, we all saw that. But I don't understand, by killing him, why does that start all the chaos? That's what I'm
Okay.
kind of confused with.
All right, so here we go
Right.
because he did
What?
explain it. He
Did he watch
literally
it?
explained
Couple
it.
times.
Watch it.
But that's okay. What Jonathan Majors / Immortus / Rama Tukang Ramalama Ding Dong Kang
Yes.
Mortis said is that he beat all of the bad variants and had everything locked down by pruning everything to create the sacred timeline. By killing him, there was nobody in charge. And so things automatically started to go out of control because the TVA didn't have any leadership. And so his Kang variants started to crop up. And that's why at the end of the episode, we saw full costume Jonathan Majors Kang, except for the mask, as the new head of the TVA. So the worst case scenario happened. Tyrant Kang is now over the TVA. All of the TVA people apparently have had their minds wiped because they didn't know who Loki was. And Tyrant Kang is now over the TVA because Immortus Kang or Nice Kang or Jonathan Majors getting to sow his royal oats and be wacky instead of being a tyrant, he's dead. And so Tyrant Kang won.
Okay, two
And,
questions.
okay, he's not just dead though. The most chilling scene in this whole episode was the wink and the "I'll see you soon." That
True.
shit
Yes.
sent a shiver
Wow.
down
Yes.
my spine because he meant that. It
Oh,
wasn't
yeah.
a joke when he said he was like,
Mm.
"I'll see you soon." You done
Right.
fucked up. You know that, right?
So let me jump in
Leading
with a
Go ahead.
let me jump in with a question. When we were in that last scene and we saw Kang's statue and the new TVA and everything like that, it was no longer the TVA though, right? It was like TV6 or TV, like whatever it was called, like the text on the walls that used to say TVA
It
said
was
something
different.
else. What was
Yes.
that? Can
Oh,
someone
I didn't
explain
even
that?
notice that.
Yeah, it was something
Did you
else.
see what it said, Mo?
I didn't see what it said, but I know it wasn't TVA, and I have to go
Right.
back and look. I didn't know what it was, but I knew that was one of the things that had changed. I was more mesmerized by the 30-foot statue of Kang in the corner of the screen.
Martin
Yeah.
Luther the Kang.
Now, look, when I saw that, I
Eddie Kang
didn't know
Jr.
what it meant, and so far there hasn't been any Easter egg reveals on what the significance of the new naming was. But beyond the differences and the changes that were made, the one thing that this episode did and it promised to do is it led you right up to Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, because you
absolutely.
saw the madness of the multiverse just spread out on your screen. He alluded to Secret War. He alluded to damn near What If. Every single thing that we're about to see in the future of this whole shit, everything was revealed in this. This is one of those shows where if you didn't watch it, you fucked up. You're not gonna know
I
what's
guess,
happening in anything.
I guess what I'm trying to say is, okay, so that Kang variant got killed, but Sylvie took over. So why would everything go into chaos if she's now in charge?
Well, but Sylvie didn't take over. That's the thing. Sylvie didn't want to take over. Sylvie wanted there to be freedom. And so she thought by killing Immortus Kang, Nice Kang, that everything would just be unbound and it would be cool. But she did not believe him when he said the bad Kangs would come and start chaos. She thought, no, everybody's going to be free. She didn't take into consideration that there would be consequences, and she set off the consequences. And that's why at the end of the episode, we neither know what's up with Sylvie, nor do we know what's up with Ravonna, who stepped into a TemPad portal to God knows where.
No, but we
looking for
do,
something that
Thomas.
Well, where's she
Thomas,
go at?
we do. They're reversing the connection between Ravonna and Kang, or Ravonna and Immortus. When she stepped through the TemPad, what did she say? She said, "I'm going to look for free will." She identified the only individual who had free will as the one who controls it all, i.e. Kang. Her stepping through that leads only to one road. Her and either Nice Kang, and her being, the conscious that brings Nice Kang in at the end of phase 4 to say, hey man, you're really fucking up. There's a love story that's going to brew there, versus them being, a couple throughout time or whatever, and him trying to save her. It's her going to now search for him.
Okay,
That's
I
where
buy that.
she's being. That's where she's going.
All I know is that Jonathan Majors is getting all of the best black actresses to be his girlfriends in any series.
Ain't that the
he's in.
truth?
He is working
Shit,
it right
man.
out.
Good job.
Look, I
I
mean,
think
hell,
Asian
man, look, he should get a damn award for this. That little bit of performance he gave was stellar.
You can
It
tell
would
he
have
was
been
having
even
fun.
better. It would have been even better if they had lit him properly, though. I don't know if that bothered anybody else, but like the lighting in that scene was great for the white actors, but for the black actor, they lit that so wrong. For the first 2 minutes, I wasn't even sure that was him because he was so shrouded in cloud and shadows.
Well,
I can tell.
I'll say this: it was better. His performance was better than Don Cheadle's '97 award.
I know.
The entire hell.
Because what was that?
Are you kidding me?
That's-
I know
yeah.
Carl Lumley's like,
Right.
Poor man.
Like,
Wow.
for real.
I know Carl Lumley's like they fucked over Isaiah again.
Again.
Right?
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Isaiah Bradley can't catch no love.
So how did they erase everyone's memories?
Script.
I mean, one beyond
wrote
script,
it
but
in.
if you think about it, Ryan, all of the variants that you knew of, they did not remember that they were even variants. They
Yeah.
didn't remember anything about their past. The exact same way that they did that. You
Right,
have to assume
it
that
was a
with that
complete
something
reset of the
something
TVA,
happens to do
or
that. Yeah.
TVK or whatever time variant, time Kang variant, whatever. I gotta look at a screen grab and Google up because I know some other eagle-eyed nerd said, "Hey, it's different."
Find it.
Okay, thank you,
Yeah.
Tony.
Mhm.
It's S-15 is
Oh,
the
is that-
difference. That's what the TVA is.
Oh, really?
Mm.
No idea what that is.
Yeah,
All I
some
will
deep
say
Easter
is
eggs.
that they did a transition from sitting and talking to silence and walking, because this whole episode was Sylvie and Loki walking through that Chronopolis with their swords out, saying nothing, and then sitting for a good 15 minutes at that goddamn desk. It was like, wow, lots of revelations, but lots of sitting and talking.
Look,
that's been
they-
my
they
problem
had
with this
to.
whole series. That's been my problem this whole series. And I
Really?
understand that. Yeah, they've like this whole series to me has felt so the pacing has felt off because we're going from place to place to sit down and talk about the plot, and then go to another place to sit down and talk about the plot. And so I feel like
It is
this
my
could
least
have been a much
favorite.
more exciting. Yeah, same, me too. And it's because it's not. I understand that they're setting up the rest of Phase 4 as you were saying, so I understand that maybe they need to, but it has not been paced well for me at all. It's been a lot
I will
of just sitting
say
and talking.
that, but I will say that the times that they've tried to explain time and the the stones, they've only done it in the first phase as like little glimmers and little lectures. And so then by the time even you get to the 10th film, it's like the third time they've explained it,
Mhm.
or fourth time they've explained it. And you still have, especially Ryan, a bunch of questions about time. And then it's like time exploration becomes like a joke and, and that kind of a thing. So I wonder, they probably were like, okay, look, people are going to get even more questions like Ryan. So
Yeah,
let's
me,
have
yes.
a whole series trying to explain and break this down so we don't have to do this, because we really don't have time to do this in the next, movies or whatever. But just like the end credit scene of Black Widow, if you have not watched these series, you are going to be so lost in this next phase coming up.
Can
Well,
I recommend?
Mhm.
Can I recommend if you
I think
haven't watched Doctor Strange recently, watch Doctor Strange like right now while
Yep.
this last episode of Loki is fresh in your mind,
Mhm.
because I had even forgotten the Ancient One lays out the multiverse from the first time she meets Stephen Strange. It didn't mean anything really when you first were introduced to it, but it means a hell of a lot now. Go back and watch Doctor Strange, or at least that first scene where the Ancient One and Doctor Strange meet, and all that dialogue means so much more now.
Well,
And
they
you know,
had
I
the
think
good-
also for me, as maybe from a damn near a lifetime of reading comic books and the lulls that go in between, various issues, setting up the big showdown or setting up some long plot, and I think Thomas, you can relate to this. Every single comic book, especially when you're dealing with villains like Kang, who oftentimes, was seen whether it was against the Avengers or, somewhere in the Fantastic Four or something else, comic books that weren't exciting, comic books that weren't always super, super interesting to read as far as the excitement goes, but the story, the depth that they go into, for me, this all sets up and excites my mind because of everything it points to that's going to happen, everything that's going to be laid out. To me, this is the most important series to watch beyond anything else. This is the one that sets it all up.
Yeah, I agree. And one of the things that I think is really important to consider is that, unlike the first two series, which gave us lots of background and insight into the characters and expanded understanding, introduced new characters that are going to be a part of the MCU, this series was absolutely essential to set up not only Doctor Strange, but Spider-Man. We've all heard the Spider-Man rumors. We know that Doc Ock and Electro, who are from two different cinematic universes, are already confirmed, and that we have J. Jonah Jameson, who is from another cinematic universe, is confirmed. So we've heard the rumors about Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire, which is, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion at this point that they're going to be making an appearance. But that scene where Sylvie stabs him and we saw the sacred timeline go absolutely blazooky is an essential part of setting up Phase 4. So this is perhaps, even though the pace is slower, I kind of look at this like the Quantum of Solace before we get Skyfall. And Skyfall was definitely worth it.
And Tom, you have to remember Ant-Man. It's Ant-Man is also there too.
Yeah. So I mean,
and that also proves when they said that, when I didn't understand what they meant when they said Quantum Mania is going to be an Avengers level film, and I was like, wait, what? How is Ant-Man 3 going to be an Avengers level film? Now I'm like, oh shit, yeah, that's going to be the one to watch. That's going to be the one we're waiting for.
Yeah, but I think too, to add to Mo Kelly in regards to watching, in regards to watching Doctor Strange again, you may want to take a moment to rewatch WandaVision, because I think this puts a little bit of a more context of, especially the last few episodes, of the depth of her power and what they may actually predict, kind of what they may actually do, because I think that changes her prediction.
Do you think they're going to use the multiverse to recast certain people, like from the Marvel shows on Netflix?
Oh boy, you still.
Yes, I am. But that's a good question too.
Yeah, I'm not. No, Ryan, I really do think that
he has a job right now. He's
like,
busy.
think about it though. No,
that's
beyond
fine.
that,
He got two jobs. Maybe he's Jamaican. Amon.
No, Phil Coulson, not Phil Coulson, but Clark Gregg. He just started teasing again that you will see him again in the MCU. This is one of those shows, like this season finale. I'm like, oh, you're damn right, you can come in.
But everything's coming back, and I bet Killmonger's coming back.
Well, see, that's the thing. Now, we've made it's clear now that anyone is dead who is heretofore dead, including Black Widow, can come back now because of the multiverse.
Yep.
Everything is on the table. Everyone is on the table at this point, including Tony Stark.
And I agree.
And when you bring it all back to a sacred timeline, after you go through and you have this battle of the timelines, you have the war that he says is coming. You bring everyone back, and you can wait a couple films after Robert Downey said, all right, I'm tired of doing nothing. And
those bad movies he's been putting out,
all that, both Chris's can say, like, you know what, I've gotten, my artistic films out of my system. They'll be back.
Our artistic films that nobody saw.
Yes,
I did see that Doctor one. The Doctor Doolittle.
It was so good you can't remember the name. That's nice.
I think one of the things that we're going to see, apparently Loki has now been confirmed as at least a cameo in Multiverse of Madness. And so if we do see a return, well, they've already confirmed it.
Yeah.
So if they do see something like Secret Wars that's more or less a one shot, I think you could see some characters briefly return. But when we settle into a singular timeline again, I don't think they're going to bring back any of the people who are dead. I think you're going to get another nostalgic look at some of those dead people. And it is an excellent opportunity for you to recast Chadwick Boseman, because as we've seen, you do have different variants that look like different people. So when we saw the battle of the Loki Paloozas, there was, 15 different Lokis, including alligator Loki.
Yes.
So anything is possible. But when they get this all sorted and settled, I think that's what you're going to see. I think if we see Tony as a memory or as a variant Tony, so that Spider-Man could get one last little hug or whatever, and Tony doesn't realize, it'll be very much like Into the Spider-Verse, where all of the Spider-Men and girls realized that they needed to go to their own worlds, and then they were out.
Which actually, this film also ties into the next animated Into the Spider-Verse film.
Mm-hmm.
Which I can't wait. Miles.
Oh, Tuala is gone momentarily. I don't know how that happened. But he was talking about Into the Spider-Verse, and we'll see again. One of the funniest bits of Into the Spider-Verse was the pointing Spider-Man meme at the end. And so they've already made a pointing Loki meme, and there's going to be a whole lot of other memes that are coming out. But this was really a consequential finale in the way that WandaVision was less so. And
Absolutely.
in the way that Captain America and the Winter Soldier was less so. It's all fine and good. And we got to see the new costume. Thank you, Tuala. You're back.
Yeah. Little power
don't let Hydra keep a brother down. So we were able to see that it was nice to drop those Easter eggs. I'm just glad that, exactly as I said in last episode, the last shot was 30-foot costume accurate Kang.
But can we say,
which, by the way, Tom, that image is in the thing if you want it.
Oh, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
But can we say that just the beginning of the episode, when they were doing the Marvel sequence, I was like, oh, we are in for something different. Because I was no. And you're bringing up all of these quotes from people who are supposedly, some of them are alive, some of them are dead. So I was like, what are we doing when you walk?
That was pretty cool.
So at the second they played that song from Captain America and Peggy dancing at the end of the Captain America, I was like, wait a minute, where are we? I popped up. I was like, okay, something's happening here. Like, what's going on here? Yeah.
And that means that we're about to
the subtleties of
Captain
this
America's,
episode.
Well, the first Captain America, I can believe that we're gonna see him.
Well, I was really
OG
waiting.
Cap, yes.
You know, this universe was awfully Earth-centric. I was waiting to hear like the Cantina song from Star Wars or something. Give me something from a different galaxy, because it was all very, very Earth-centric, as opposed to, we know that there's Nowhere, we know that there's Vormir, and there's Nidavellir, and all the other Veers, and Xandar, and all these other places we've seen in the universe. But it was all just following the Terran timeline. So it will be interesting to see what the fallout is, because I was talking to somebody earlier. Timelines and universes are more or less interchangeable in Loki, whereas in the comic books, the universes are the universes. It's not just a timeline. Main Marvel continuity is Universe 616. And then they had all the other universes that were numbered. And technically the MCU film universe is like 69,000 or something. It's some way off brand number that's very different from all the comic book universes. But in the parlance of Loki, every timeline is a different universe, which is fine, because that's just another way of dealing with it. But it does change the dynamics of, you know, from a viewer perspective, what is the difference between time and an actual separate universe? And Kang did try to bridge that by showing the little stacked universes in his little proto-Play-Doh zippy animation that he did. I just don't know why they didn't give him the mask in any of those animations. Can I get the mask, please?
I think that maybe Jonathan Majors was like, look, my name is not Mando. All right. Fucking you don't hide this beautiful face. And he even said, like, hey, I like your nose. I like your nose too.
Yeah.
Like, show my
right. Yes.
Yeah.
But you don't.
He was look. He's like, I want people to know who I am. I want people to see me. And it's not to say we won't see him in the mask, because if you look at one of the little Play-Doh dioramas he set up, you can, if you pause it and zoom in, you'll see that one of them does have the actual Kang mask. There's one who's coming down on another one with the spear. So I'm like, hey, that one has the Kang mask. And then the 50-foot statue, he's got the whole Kang, collar top or whatever. I'm like,
he's got
I think we're gonna get it.
Kang in
Look,
his
hands. He's got the whole world Kang.
I mean, okay, now let's look at this. Look at how major it is for everyone who's always like, man, we didn't get that special, appearance that we wanted. They literally laid out the future of the franchise in this series, in a series. A dude
Yeah,
who's
they
going to
did.
have ramifications across the whole of Phase 4.
That's what I'm saying is that unlike before Disney Plus, when we were doing these ABC, Hulu, and Netflix series where I think there are moments where you're like, okay, well, maybe this matters. This one is like, not only do you must watch, you will not get it. You will not have that. Why is everybody in the crowd like so excited? You won't have that excitement because you have no idea what's happening.
I gotta be honest. I
To
didn't
Liz's
expect
point-
to see Kang. I'm at best, I was thinking all we're gonna get is a name drop. Not only did we get Kang, we got the whole thing laid out. I was really, I thought they were gonna trick us. I thought they were gonna do some type of like thing that they did with WandaVision. That pissed me off. No, this was a nice season finale.
To Liz's point, we're given actual, I would say, mini movies, and to follow Phase 4, you have to watch the series. You didn't have to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. You didn't have to watch New Mutants. You didn't have to watch anything else which might have been quote unquote Marvel and had some of the same characters on the periphery. No, you must watch this like you must watch any other movie. It's not wasted space. It's all essential to advancing the story. And they're not just using this real estate to just promote Marvel stuff. They're saying that this is integral to you understanding how this is going to be laid out in the next 4 to 5 years. And so bravo to Disney, because they're making it very clear that these series are consequential and essential.
Right.
Not only that,
remember how they used to, remember when they did before Endgame came out and they did a whole list of how the timeline comes together and all the different which you should see in order. And it's like, okay, well, all of us definitely tried to hit the list of everything so that we can kind of go in, and there was really no payoff. Yeah, we got to see certain there were from Peggy Carter series, we got to see a couple of people, so then it's like, oh yeah, we know who this is, but there was no genuine major payoff to have seen all that stuff.
Yeah. But the MCU is just the MCU up until this point. That's a point that what's my man, the Guardians of the Galaxy dude, the director.
Chris
What's
Pratt?
that dude's name?
Oh,
no,
James Gunn.
Gunn.
Right.
Yeah, he's James Gunn. He drew a line in the sand. He said, "Look, I don't mean to offend anybody, but nothing before WandaVision is canon for the MCU. I'm not disrespecting any of those creators, but it's just not. When you know what's going on and you know what's happening, WandaVision is the beginning of anything television having to do with Marvel. Everything else is just, you can't consider, you can't look at it, you can't quote it or try to relate it to what we're seeing. WandaVision was the first thing that they gave us that when you start to see everything, and he said, trust me, I'm on the inside. You've literally seen nothing. You've seen nothing with just these few offerings that we're getting right now.
But what's so crazy is that you got 5 whole ass Spider-Man movies plus this new Venom stuff that they're willing to embrace into the MCU canon vis-a-vis the multiverse. So you just go diss Cage and Jessica Jones. Like,
Exactly.
Well,
Hey,
and aren't they
yeah,
bringing
unfortunately.
Punisher? Aren't they bringing Punisher in? Like the guy that did Punisher in the Netflix film, or
That's the
I'm sorry, the
rumor.
Netflix show. He's coming into the actual film or film.
That's
John
the rumor.
Bernthal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Barenthal.
Thank you, Barenthal.
And
Yeah.
also Charlie Cox.
Charlie Cox as well.
as Matt Murdock, at least Matt Murdock,
Mhm.
whether or
Yes.
not it's the same Matt Murdock. And we want to invite anybody who's watching right now, if you type in your comments in Facebook or YouTube, we can address your questions and potentially add them to the stream. So please, if you liked us, I see my one thumb like, and I see streamers coming on and off, make sure to go on ahead and put your comments into the stream. But this is something that
I like
is
ripping men off though.
it's interesting to me what the possibilities are. I get that they don't want to connect the past, but since multiverse is open, you might as well create a bridge for people, fan favorites like Luke Cage.
Thank you.
Coulter. People liked him as Luke Cage, and if you want to reboot Cage or whatever, people love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. and it looks like Charlie Cox is the closest to being bridged. So maybe we can get a D'Onofrio Kingpin. But you have this opportunity now to give some quality fan service and at least give the hint that you could either develop new shows a couple of years hence or use the characters in even if it's small roles in the MCU just to satiate the fans.
And I mean, when you look at just the small little things that are happening out there, I don't know if you all saw the new Deadpool fan reaction trailer.
Yeah.
That shit was
Dude.
great.
Well, and Feige confirmed it's R-rated.
It's written.
Yeah.
It is an
Yes.
R-rated film, so that's
Yes.
good news to any of the Deadpool fans because as anti-Disney-esque as the Deadpool films have been, if they tried to neuter them, nobody would go for it. So it's really good news that Feige has confirmed that it is an R-rated film, although it's not anywhere near in the near future because it's not. He said it's not going to film in 2022. So
Right.
at least
To
2023.
me, that is coming. It's another reason to stay on board this train. The MCU, by way of Disney, is making sure that they're not giving us much room to breathe. They're not letting up at all when it comes to these film releases, when it comes to the series that come in between. They're making sure that they're giving everyone who was on it. There are a whole lot of us who are just now jumping on it. I ran to 3 people today. They were like, oh no, I got to start watching that. These are people who aren't going to start watching Loki till right now. You know, when that takes them on into, possibly August, they said, I want to take my time. I'm like, all right, cool. This is how you build a universe.
Look, let's be clear. Marvel is all about the fan servicing. If you think that we're going to get 2 series, if you say Loki and Hawkeye in a 4-month period, we're going to get 3 Marvel movies in that same 4-month period. If you talk about Spider-Man, Shang-Chi, and Eternals. So we're going to get a lot in the next 4 months. And all we have to do is allow it to happen. I think we're short shrifting how much Marvel is giving us and how ingenious it is as far as how they're laying it out, where they're not giving us a month where we're having to wait. We're getting something every single month. That's unheard of.
By the way,
literally.
I let's plug and say that before you go see Shang-Chi, you should probably go watch Iron Man 2.
Yes.
1, 2,
Yes.
and 3.
Yeah, you got to.
No,
Especially three.
don't put them people through.
Stop
two
it!
and three.
Stop!
Look,
Stop!
Trevor,
no,
I know.
seriously.
I know you're a
Look,
stan,
no.
Tony, because you love Shane Black, and that's
Look.
great. I'm just saying.
No,
feel you on
Tony,
three.
I am with
painful.
you. Iron Man
Thank
3
you,
was great,
Koala.
especially when you
Thank
watch
you.
it on the Disney Plus
Mhm,
app and you
mhm.
watch the full film. Because on the Disney Plus app, for some reason or another, they gave us the Shane Black cut, and you get to see all the stuff
Everything.
happening in between. It really fleshes out. So I'm like, yo, this is a great movie.
Thank
Why
you.
is this
Thank
version?
Thank
You
you.
know what the best part
Yes.
about
I
watching
wouldn't
it
say it
on
was
Disney
great.
Plus is that you can pause it or let it go and then go to the bathroom and take a shit and come back an hour and a half later and
The
just
No.
sit
hate
for
is
blowing
real.
out.
Okay.
The hate is
I
real.
wouldn't
The
say
only
it
thing
was
wrong
great.
with
It was
Iron
okay.
Man
It was
3
okay.
was Trevor. That was the only thing wrong with Iron Man 3.
That's the only thing.
And they eventually fixed that. So I mean,
Hey,
Yeah,
look.
they did fix it in the one shot. He
Yes.
basically was assassinated in the one shot.
Yeah.
Look,
They
I'm
killed Trevor.
not mad at anything. I'm not mad at the fact that Disney, once again, and I think this is gonna go under the radar for a lot of people. But once again, Disney is making some of the most powerful characters in their universe black.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
It's blackety black.
Oh, yeah,
And
that-
he is literally
those lips.
the most powerful individual we have seen.
Look,
Like he's like, do you want the Infinity Gauntlet? You want the stones? I'm giving you all that shit. I don't care. Just go in and do the job for me. When you're that powerful, oh man, stop it, brother. Stop it.
this is not Reggae John Page. This
And
is
Andy sounds
Yeah,
Jonathan
can we say-
Majors
yes,
with
say
them,
that.
them-
Right.
Say
and
that.
the infinity nose and the infinity
Yes.
lips.
Yes.
Because
You know what's
Yes.
interesting?
Nostradamus. That's what I call him.
And self-aware at that.
Yeah.
He's saying, "Take me as I am." It's
Yeah.
not Denzel, and that's no slight to.
That's true.
I mean, it's no slight to Jonathan Majors, who's a fabulous actor, but he's not the classic black actor, which is going to get that type of love that we've seen in previous generations.
This Kang looks like he's smelling some good collard greens. Look at them nostrils flared. He got them lips like, come on, Grandma.
That's some Nubian features. I love it. I love it.
Slip me some greens on that plate.
I love it.
But
And when you look at how they really touched on some real spiritual, debates, free will. They had a whole Adam and Eve, like really looking at the potential, forever in the Garden of Eden. You can come in here and rule the world forever if you just do this thing. And they had still be like, no.
Yeah.
You know what?
But you know what's interesting is we now have another perspective of this Loki character in the sense, but in the sense that he was offered the things that he wanted. Like he was offered, you can win that fight that you had back in Avengers. You could actually rule and stay ruling like you were back in Thor 3. You could, and so he continued and he made the decision, no. So I was like, oh, this is stunning. Oh, and we forgot to say this. Miss Minutes. You all had a throwaway line at how devious Miss Minutes could possibly be, and you guys thought it was a joke. It was not a joke. Miss Minutes is not
crafty.
It's not as nice as
crafty,
y'all.
Oh, crafty ass.
The thing with
Sweet, sugary Southern voice to lull
Right,
you to
with
sleep.
with that big old smile on the clock. Oh, so I guess you don't want it, huh? Okay. I'm gonna slip back into Kang's DMs. Okay, bye.
The thing with Sylvia is she's been waiting for that moment for her entire life. Her entire world was destroyed. Okay, she wanted this, and I guess our Loki wanted her. I'm just guessing, assuming, and she was like, "Look, I'm not giving up my dream for you. This dude's got to die." And she got what she wanted.
And she pushed him right through that portal like it wasn't nothing.
Nope. Yep.
she had Miss Minutes are crafty as hell.
When they walked in there, she said, I was pruned way before you were even thought of. That's how long I've been at this. And when you think how long the Loki we know
has been alive.
Been alive, that's like, she's like, yo, dude, I was pruned before you were even born, homie. Like, wow.
Now, when they say pruned, I thought that meant when you got like hit with the stick. But that means something different. It means she got pulled from her world. Is that what pruned means?
Or she got pulled from her world. Because I think she said I got pruned.
She said pruned. That's what threw me off. Like, wait, huh?
I don't know. Maybe maybe it's just a reference that her world was sanitized. Because remember, when they walked through there, they dropped those things and they sanitized and pruned the whole timeline.
That's
the whole
true.
timeline that she came from, she couldn't go back. So that's the pruning of that.
But I think it's important to note that one of the reasons why we did not get a great little backstory on Loki, we didn't need it. Versus, with Wanda, you did all this character development and with other characters and development that we kind of need because we don't know that much about Wanda. But for Loki, it's like, how much more do we really need to know about his background?
Well, and
I don't know if we need to know anything else about his background, but
instead of getting into his background, what they did is they expanded on his character development and gave him a real hero arc. Because imagine you were talking about it before, Liz. Imagine what it took for 2012 Loki to turn down not only being the ruler, not only defeating the Avengers, but getting the Infinity Gauntlet and killing Thanos. Miss Minutes was like, come on, sugar pie, you can have whatever you want. Even your little girlfriend, Loki.
I think I'm going to be the unpopular voice here as far as a character development with Loki in this series is concerned, because I actually missed a lot of character development with Loki. I felt like the Loki that we saw in this particular series, I didn't quite believe that he had gotten to where he had gotten to that quickly without having any sort of backstory as to how he got there. I felt like it wasn't as earned as it could have been.
Okay, so remember when Loki sat down and read his whole file and he saw where his life went and how it ended? I think that alone began to shake him because he also realized that Thor, he really got to do some of the things that he really deeply wanted to do, which was to fight along with Thor. And I think that he was able to kind of relive a lot of those moments that he had in the future that he doesn't know he has in the future for him to get there. And then his moment of reflecting with his about his mom teaching him. And this,
beyond that-
it was all reactionary though. It wasn't action forward, and that's what I was missing.
No,
as far
but
as his growth.
the mirror that really woke him up was being in the room with the other Lokis and seeing, when you see yourself, when you're truly showing yourself as you are, that is when you grow. Because you may not listen to anyone else. You can tell a drug addict, man, you need to kick those drugs all day long. But until they see themselves and see that they've got a problem, they're not going to kick it, right? When Loki is sitting in that room of Lokis and you've got older Loki who's like, no, Thanos didn't snap my neck. I actually tricked him and went and lived a long, lonely ass life. And you have the other one who's like, yeah, I killed my brother, but still, how did that get me? You got Brokey who did, nothing but connive, to the end. You have Alligator Loki who, he was wild. He was a wild child. Say when you're sitting there with that much of yourself, and the only good self he saw was possibly this Sylvie Loki, who he said, what makes her the one that you want to follow? Because she's different. She's different from any other imaginations I could have for myself. That's some real come to Jesus shit for you.
I want to give a shout out.
But go ahead.
I want to give a shout out to James Crawford, who's watching, also Cole Pfeiffer and Keith Knowles. I have a question for the committee. Who thinks that Miss Minutes and Alligator Loki have a thing going on? Because that's two devious little animated creatures that look like they'd be a good fit. Loki be biting people's hands off and stuff. Loki, Alligator Loki, and Miss Minutes.
Baby.
I know that's right. We got a thing going on.
But I also think that Loki.
Oh my God.
Mrs.
I was like, let me go ahead and turn my volume down.
I also think that they want us to know that deep inside, Loki is a hero. And
A what?
and the
A
two.
hero.
I think that Loki has a
I thought you
hero.
said he-ho
Has a heroic. Has a heroic, spent. Has that in him, and I think that that's what they wanted to, portray here.
Even if he's not a hero, like almost every quote unquote villain that we've seen introduced to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, none of these characters are like the 70s, 60s, or 80s villains that we saw where Skeletor was Skeletor just, and he was evil just because I'm evil. Joker, I'm evil because I'm evil. Everyone back in the day was evil just for the sake of being evil, right? They just had an evil plan and they wanted to rule the world. Why? Because I must. All these characters, there is serious motivation behind everything they do. When they asked him, why would you want to give all this up? My man said, yo, because I'm tired, y'all. I've lived a long, long time. I'm a lot older than I look, and I'm done with this shit. I've seen it's Doctor Strange. He may have seen a whole bunch of outcomes at one time. This dude lived all those outcomes that Doctor Strange saw.
Black don't crack.
You know what? We don't need another hero.
Don't do it. Stop it.
Master Blaster.
No.
Who ran me out of town?
Who
Master
wants
Blaster.
us?
Now we know. Now we know why the Eternals is coming out.
Maybe.
Do we?
Oh, come on. This has to be the biggest. This is way bigger than Thanos.
Yeah.
You mean this is the tie-in, this is the direct impetus you think is going to be
so.
Eternals because of the events in Loki. Okay.
Yeah.
So whatever
mad.
whatever sabbatical vacation they took off during everything else that was going on in the MCU, Liz is basically saying that the multiverse wakes them up or whatever.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that. I'm not
No,
mad
I
at that.
see that.
And not only
'cause-
that, I have the supreme faith in Eternals. I have supreme faith in Chloe Zhao, someone who has wanted to do something like this forever. Women are showing and proving, whether it's all the sisters who came through and directed some of the best episodes of Luke Cage, from Black Widow. The sisters are coming through with some serious heat when it
some
comes to
funk.
bringing us what we want.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah.
I think, and I said it before. Black Widow, which is an unqualified success, everybody's really feeling it. It is an absolute worthy addition to the MCU and demonstrated in a way that perhaps Captain Marvel, for whatever reason, Captain Marvel got a lot of Mary Sue kind of hate. But no, that is not happening against Black Widow. And I said it last week. It's a kind of a shame that we didn't get this movie of Black Widow, kind of like how we got Captain America: The First Avenger, where you could have done this Black Widow story, and there are clearly other stories that Black Widow could have sustained on her own in a way that, frankly, I'm not anxious about the Hawkeye series in the way I'd be anxious about a Black Widow's series.
Right.
Or the Women of Wakanda, the Panthers of Wakanda, whatever the hell that show's going to be. Does anybody really care about Bow and Arrow? I'd rather have Taskmaster show as opposed to watching Hawk. I mean, Kate Bishop is going to be fine, and that's great for Young Avengers. I'm just saying, unless Yelena Belova is the main antagonist of the Hawkeye series, I don't know what there is.
That's why
they're introducing
my interest.
Echo as well, and Echo is supposedly playing in a more anti-hero kind of like I'm coming after you kind of role. Echo, if anyone didn't read her introduction in the comics, Echo was a very, very dope character. Echo, who is currently the wielder of the Phoenix Force. That's how bad she is. It's not a character to be slept on. I'm just saying.
Shout out Taz Sharif and Jackie Hobson. Thank you for joining us. I'm going to pull up a picture of Echo to post in the feed.
She was a deaf superhero or deaf vigilante. She appeared first in the pages of Daredevil.
She's the Latina.
Yes.
I'm looking.
Well, she was I believe she was Native American.
Oh, well,
Or she
okay,
was
yeah,
indigenous.
Maya Lopez. Yeah, it looks like the iconography on here is more indigenous, tribal. Although,
I'm looking forward to Hawkeye for the simple fact that Marvel has not done me wrong recently, or at all, for that matter. So,
Right.
yeah, that's true.
I'm going to trust them. I'm going to trust them.
I give you credit for that one because this is a series that gave me hope for Eternals. I was like, is Eternals even necessary? And then I was like, okay, the trailer doesn't look so bad. And then I was like, oh my gosh, can it be? And then Black Widow came out, and then the Shang-Chi trailer came out, and I was like, okay, if Loki and multiverse and every time I thought I was slipping on something that Feige had his fingerprints on, I have been pleasantly surprised. So
let's talk about that trailer though. Watching that trailer in the theater was awesome, and I said that
you talking about Shang-Chi?
Yes, and I say that even more so as movie theater stock is down. And so clearly there needs to be some level of, and I know that some level of revival, and they are playing these sad commercials on TV talking about come back to the movies.
So far, nothing's getting folks back into theaters like that. Sorry.
Nope.
Sorry.
If I can watch it at home, I'm going to watch it at home.
Yeah.
And there are no more big movies coming.
No.
Oh yeah,
Look,
no, this is not. Well, you got the Marvel movies coming. Oh no, James Bond. James Bond is coming.
James Bond.
I don't know if that's enough.
I can only hope that gets people into theaters.
Eyes?
But
Yeah.
remember,
What about
James Bond.
Matrix?
No,
Snake
James
Eyes?
Bond is actually pushed till next year now. James Bond got pushed
They
back
did? Again?
Yeah.
What about Matrix? When's that coming out?
Matrix
that's
is
the
Matrix is hitting on the app. Matrix is hitting on
okay. All right.
HBO Max, and maybe theaters the same day. But yeah,
Did we
I
say
tripped off of that.
Dune?
There,
Dune?
Dune.
That's on the app too.
I'm seeing No Time to Die in October on
I don't think
birthday,
it is.
actually.
Yeah,
oh,
but I'm
it's,
saying,
okay. Oh no,
Yeah,
no,
but
no,
all-
no. You know, no. The other ones got pushed back. I'm sorry.
yeah, but are any of those
the
movies
other dude,
event movies?
No,
Mission
I'll tell you
No.
right now, I saw the final trailer for No Time to Die in the movie theater in front of, Lord help me, Fast and
That's
Furious
not.
9.
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
That trailer was the business. That is a real, for real, 100% Bond movie extravaganza. You've got Max Blofeld up in that thing again. You've got the new 007, fine ass Tasha 007. You've got
Tasha
money.
Lynch.
There you
Tasha
go.
Lynch,
You've got Money Penny. I mean, not Money Penny. The black sister.
She's the new Money Penny.
Yeah, she is.
Well, they have a. I thought they had a Money Penny. She's the new Money Penny proxy, but she's not named Money Penny.
I
thought she
thought
got
he
the
called her
job.
Money Penny in the trailer.
Yeah.
I thought in either Skyfall or Spectre, he introduced or said there was a white Money Penny, and that girl, the one who shot him in Skyfall, was not Money Penny, because Money Penny was never an agent. And this she's a field agent who shot him accidentally when he was trying to keep that disc out of the hands of
Yeah.
And I thought they put her behind a
Country
desk
for Old
for
Men.
a while.
They did put her behind a desk, and in the trailer, she and Richardson are talking, and Richardson says, "I see why you wanted to shoot him." So,
Right.
That trailer is the business. He's doing crazy stunts.
But is
to be
it
as
enough
old as
to
he
draw
is.
people back into
Right.
theaters
Right.
en masse? Like, you know,
Well, I don't
the
know
fans,
about
yeah, but
I
Well, I was
it's
gonna say, I
October, so we'll see.
I was gonna say I went and saw Zola with three friends that are actively not Marvel people, but they played the Shang-Chi trailer before Zola, and my friend turned around and looked at me and was like, "This is Marvel?" She's like, "This looks good." I was like, "Yeah, maybe." So I mean, people now that are understanding, like Marvel just got what 28 Emmy nominations. Like,
Yeah.
I think that might
There's that
might
part.
do something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Yeah.
well, now again, we're also saying, you know, are people rushing out back into theaters here in Southern California when you've got now over
The variant.
1,000 new cases a day jumping and rising? So I don't know. So there's also that part. There's also like do I want to risk this new fast spreading COVID to go and see James Bond? I don't know if that's a time to die.
I'm gonna tell you that we are in, not talking to politics, but we're in the midst of a recall election. So it's going to be 10,000 new cases and nothing's going to get closed until after the recall
Right.
election.
That's right.
Yeah, no.
And nothing
I'm
will
not
happen
worried
before
about
that.
stuff
Yeah.
closing. I'm worried about people wanting to go out.
I hear you. They're
Yeah,
going to
you've
go
got-
out.
You've got these are the biggest releases that are coming up through the end of the year, and to your point, I don't know that any of them are that major, but you do have Snake Eyes coming next week, which is another big action tentpole film. In a normal
Yeah,
year,
but-
you would expect it to do well.
No, I wouldn't, because it's a G.I. Joe movie. And I
Yeah,
I
but
think
you know
that's
what?
fair to
But you
Midland.
know what? But I have to tell you, Mo, this G.I. Joe movie, in the same way that Bumblebee kind of rebooted the Transformers franchise, this G.I. Joe movie is a respectful G.I. Joe movie made for people who liked the toys. This is a serious movie. It's not campy with Marlin and suits and robot and magnified. It's not craziness. It is the real deal. These
It's ninjas.
It's ninjas. It's really ninjas. Can somebody explain? Here we go. We got a question. Anthony Kennedy, can someone explain to me what that ending was? I was lost. Okay, we're gonna
See, I wasn't the only one. Thank you.
Okay, so
Thank
we're gonna revisit some ground here, Anthony, just for you. Although you say that Snake Eyes is not major, no. Here's the answer, Anthony. As Kang was explaining to Sylvie and Loki, he fought back all of his other variants. All of his variants have the same level of the ability to master and control time that he does. And all of his variants fought it out in a battle royale, and he ended up on top, and he ended up creating the sacred timeline and keeping it pruned so that the other Kangs didn't come back. When Sylvie killed him, you saw that there was an explosion of the sacred timeline, basically reinventing the multiverse because the guiding hand was gone. And when that happened, the other Kangs got activated. And what ended up happening is that Tyrant Kang, who was the statue that we see at the end, he ended up taking over the TVA directly. And instead of pretending and having the 3 timekeepers as a front, Tyrant Kang said, I am the Kang and I'm in charge. And so honor me, revere me, as opposed to having a shadow puppet government in front of them.
That's Kang the Conqueror, correct?
Which creates
that's Kang the Conqueror. Yeah. Not important.
That creates madness in the multiverse.
Madness in the
multiverse. That creates a quantum mania. That creates Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Part 2. That leads us into What If. It leads into every single thing you're about to see happening largely across Phase 4. Hopefully that answers your question, Anthony.
It does look like, frankly, that Marvel movies are dominating the rest of the schedule. You do have Suicide Squad in August. You got Free Guy, which is a Disney film. That's the Ryan Reynolds project that's dropping. That's not major. I'm just saying it's going to get the push from Disney. Candyman. I am going to go see Candyman in the theater.
I'm
waiting for it.
I'm going to see it at home. Yeah.
Shang-Chi. And then you've got, oh boy.
Jungle Cruise
Venom
is somewhere.
Yeah, Jungle Cruise is coming up soon. That's actually that's end of July. You've got Venom in September. You've got Hotel Transylvania and Addams Family in October. No Time to Die on my birthday. At Dune on the 22nd. That's a major event film. Probably not going to be released on HBO Max because Denis Villeneuve pissed a hissy fit. You got Ghostbusters in November. You got Top Gun in November. You got another. You got another
Top
Resident
Gun,
Evil.
I am there.
You got West Side Story in December. Spider-Man: No Way Home, and that basically takes you through the end. You got the Kingsman, the third member of the Kingsman franchise, and the Matrix 4 dropping at the end of the year, and so that takes you through. It's not definitely a tent pole to tent pole, but you have, I think, a respectful distance around MCU releases. Nobody's trying to shit on the MCU for sure.
Right.
But you do have, half of those films are Disney or affiliated films that are anchoring the entire industry through the end of the year. So except for No Time to Die, I'd say that's probably, just from a franchise perspective and from earnings, and because it costs $300 million to produce, MGM wants that to work.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I can see it. I'm just saying, it's unfortunate to be competition in a Marvel world
because of the second character.
Which character?
Scarlett's in it, by the way, or somebody who looks, with a really scarlet wig.
In which one?
In Snake Eyes. I'm saying
Scarlet. It has Scarlet and Baroness in it.
Right. And there are no frosted tips on Scarlett's wig. I'm just saying, Liz.
Do we have a Crow prediction?
Lord have mercy. Liz, do you have a quote ready to go? Please tell me you do. While you're thinking of it, Liz, we're going to introduce Tony to our quotes of the day as we close out our show. Maybe you know, maybe you don't. But we have a line that we like to throw out that just signifies who we are. Mo has multipass. Tom has where is. Ryan's freestyles. Liz usually takes quite some time. Anthony from 2 Cubicles Down says good news. I hit him off with some Excelsior.
You
and
said
that's what
take
we do.
time. The shade.
Liz, the end of the show never sneaks up on you. It's coming every time at the same time.
You tell me I'm lying.
I just said the shade. I didn't say you were dishonest.
Ah, damn.
Okay, we have one question before we do that, because I do want to give Oh, it's Anthony Kennedy again. Okay, Anthony, you flooding the comments. Do you think this is a backdoor pilot to bring the FF and the X-Men to the MCU? Now, this is, interestingly enough, this is not something that we've talked about. I would say the backdoor pilot is probably closer to Spider-Man. Because Spider-Man, we're getting the two Sony Spider-Men and the Spider-Man villains. It certainly opens the door to it, but I wouldn't be surprised if Feige, because these films are not in production, except FF was the only one he announced. He didn't announce an X-Men film. I would say we might see an FF tease in Quantum Mania. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw that in Quantum Mania. Because Kang, Nathaniel Richards, there's all these tie-ins that work in the Fantastic Four universe that would make sense for, at the very least, for Quantum Mania to feature it. I don't know that it will be a pilot for X-Men, but I think Fantastic Four is definitely a lot closer. And thank you, Jason Kevin Thomas, for confirming that Naomi Harris is officially Miss Moneypenny, and she is the first Black actress to carry the role.
Nice. I
mean, somewhat obviously, but yeah.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
So you ready? You ready for the shout outs now, Twala? Have you been able to think of something, Tony?
I'm not sure I completely understand what's going on, but I'm gonna try.
It's just, you know, how we do bye. It's basically your bye throw off, but it's a tagline instead of just being bye.
Gotcha.
Got it?
And it might be a connection to a movie that you love.
Yeah, a movie that you like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
For instance, Mo, set us off.
The Black Panther.
Cunningham.
We'll be stripped away.
Shout out to Forrest Whitaker.
The Last Jedi sucked.
Dr. Liz.
Man, I ain't got nothing because I don't care. Because there's no teaser. There's no nothing coming out. Oh, nothing matters. The timeline's done.
Tony,
oh my God,
you're hired. Liz, you're fired.
I was gonna say, it can come any movie or movie's coming out.
Any
movie?
movie.
All right. Tell me about the fucking golf shoes. Anybody? Okay.
Fan freaking tastic. Excelsior.